situation is crazy. You know, it's something that I don't think can be fixed. So, yeah, thanks.
Well, we know how James Harden felt. Now we've heard it from him as he says the Rockets aren't good enough and the situation is crazy. For more, I'm here with Ben Pickman and the fantasy exec Corey Parson. And guys, you know, with Harden, I understand that he has given everything he's got to Houston. I think the problem people have is what's going on right now, you know, not playing up to his capabilities, what happened before the season. Overall, Corey, do you think his frustration is justified?
Yeah, I do believe his frustration is justified, but I also think that the Houston Rockets also have a point in this too. Listen, we saw what happened last night in that press conference. This sounds like a breakup is coming. They're going to unfollow each other on social media. It's going to get pretty nasty. But the bottom line of the matter is this: throughout the course of the Golden State Warriors run in the Western Conference, the Houston Rockets were probably their second best, most competitive team. We've seen, Chris Paul go there and try to get it done. Injuries happen in that series. We've seen, Russell Westbrook didn't really work out with those two. But the bottom line of the matter is this: they put their best foot forward, and now it's time for a change. If I'm the Houston Rockets, you're under contract. You're going to be here for this change. By the same token, I can understand why Harden feels, listen, get me out of here. I still got prime years left, and I want to be able to get to some place where I continue to make a championship. So it's very tough, but I think both parties are justified.
But that's why I don't like it when people undersell his ability, what he's able to accomplish there. At the same time, if you're taking the other side of that argument, Ben, you would say, you know, yeah, the common denominator in their relative success was Harden, but the common denominator in Chris Paul and Russell Westbrook and all that not working out was also Harden.
Exactly. And if you look at the cloud that's kind of hovering over this season for the Rockets, a lot of that seems to be stemming from James Harden and his desire, a reported desire, not to want to play for the Houston Rockets anymore. And so that way, you know, his broad frustration, I don't think is that justified. Now, if we're talking, though, solely about some of the on-court issues, we can't blame James Harden for all of their on-court issues, right? This is a bottom 10 defense right now that is second worst in second chance points allowed and transition points allowed. Those kind of effort plays, so to speak, we can blame maybe James Harden for some of those issues, but that's a whole team issue, right? That's not solely on James Harden. One other worrying thing for this Rockets team that is towards the bottom of the Western Conference standing is that their offense has struggled, right? And that's typically James Harden MO. And when we saw those Rocket teams be so successful in recent years, they had one of the league's best offenses. They're actually a below average unit, number 17 overall in offensive rating right now. That's equally troubling as anything else going on in the organization. Broadly, though, this still, a lot of it is going to be remembered by James Harden, his frustration.
And let's be frank, they're not getting James Harden's best effort as a player or as a teammate right now. But I would expect to see James Harden right back where we've seen him as soon as he's on another team.